I want to introduce you to one last set of ideas, and that's wins and losses and beats. Well, what is a beat? Well, people make beats kind of complicated, but beats are actually really simple. A beat is the length of time that something is happening in a scene, that you're playing a certain tactic in a scene before you have to change that tactic. So let's look back to our example of the little kid in the grocery store having a meltdown because his objective is he wants mom to give him candy. Well, if we think about that scenario that we had, the first thing that he does, because he wants to get his objective met, to get mom to give me candy, the first thing that he does is he begs mom for candy. He begs mom for candy, and mom is like, oh no, I'm not falling for this, I'm not doing this. So he tries a bunch of different ways to beg mom for candy, and then at a certain point, he's a smart kid, he realizes that's not going to work. I need to try a different strategy, a different set of tactics to get mom to give me what I want. That length of time that he played out begging, that single tactic of begging mom for candy, is a beat. It's like you can draw a line across the page when he decides, wow, this begging for candy thing is not working, I gotta find another way. Then he moves on to threatening mom by having a total hissy fit meltdown in the middle of the grocery store aisle and calling lots of unwanted attention to himself. And he plays that out and he plays that out, and then mom is getting even more, I'm getting my video back, nobody sees my password, there we go. And mom is getting even more pissed off that little kid is calling all of this attention. He's getting further and further away from getting what he wants, which is get mom to give me candy. You can draw a line through that. He's got to change his tactics yet again. That didn't work. That's another beat. Then he decides it's time to bargain with mom. I'm going to eat my vegetables. I promised to eat the asparagus. I won't play Nintendo if I can have the candy. Mom is a little more open to this bargaining thing because it's rational, and, rational thought should be rewarded. He plays that out. Mom, let's say at the end of the story, mom goes, well, we can have one piece now and one piece after dinner. He won. End of that beat. So then, attached to this idea of beats, which is the length of time that we play out a tactic to get what we want, to meet our objective, then we start to look at wins and losses. Am I getting closer to my goal? Or am I getting farther away from my goal? So if we look back at our example with the kid and the candy, when he begged, pissing mom off, the end of that beat, he loses. He did not get closer to his objective of getting the candy. When he threatens mom by having a meltdown and plays out that tactic for a while, draw a line in that, he lost again. He did not get closer to getting his objective met of getting the candy. Then at the end, when he decides to negotiate and bargain with mom, mom's open to it. The end of that beat, he wins. He's going to get that piece of candy that he wants. So scenes are always about winning and losing. If one person in the scene is winning the whole time, it is a boring scene. If your character is losing the whole time, it's also boring. What's interesting is, I'm getting closer to winning here. I'm getting closer to winning. I just lost ground. I lost this. I got to find another way to get back on top. I'm winning. I just lost. Scenes are like sporting events. Whatever it is you watch, whether you watch football or basketball or, or wrestling or boxing or whatever it is that you watch in terms of sports, it's the same thing. So think about your scene as a boxing match. That if your partner hits you this way and they kind of are on top, that you're going to make a different move to get back on top. This is what makes scenes interesting, is when they're equally matched. If you find yourself either winning against your partner in the scene constantly or losing constantly, you got to mix up your tactics so that one of you is always getting on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. That's what makes a scene really interesting. And next time you watch TV, I want you to notice wins and losses in the scene, because that's why we can't turn away. That's why we binge watch Netflix or whatever we're watching on HBO or Showtime or whatever it is we see. That's why we don't walk out of the movie theater to get more popcorn, is because there's constant winning and losing. That's what makes theater worth watching. That's what makes the movie or the TV show worth watching.